I'm always in the mood to have Iranian food, and today I've decided to make some Iranian rice and chicken. Alongside that, I'm going to make some cauliflower soup because I have a lot of cauliflower lying in the house. I want you to stay tuned for these recipes. Okay, for this Iranian rice and chicken, what I've done is parboiled 2 cups of rice, and this is 500 grams of chicken, and I've left it into like big pieces like that. I'm going to brine this to start with for about half an hour before I cook it. To brine this, you need to put the chicken into a big bowl like this and add 2 to 3 bay leaves to this and about 4 or 5 pepper balls. Add about 1.5 teaspoon of salt, and that's half a teaspoon each of oregano or parsley, 3 to 4 bay leaves, 4 or 5 peppercorns, and I have to cover this with at least half a cup of vinegar and half a cup of water. Okay, first up is rice. I've taken a pot like this. I'm just going to add a little bit of butter, and then I'm going to use buttery, which is Zereshk. It is a tart berry, and it's available in a lot of stores in Pakistan. If you don't find it in the city you live in, you can call for it from Karachi at Paradise, and I know that there are some stores that you find it at in Lahore, but it's a hit and miss, so you can always use dried berries in this recipe. However, the tartness of barberry Zereshk is what makes this an amazing palow, and they call it Polow in Farsi. So let's get started with the onions. At least 3 to 4 tablespoons of butter. The more butter, the better this is. And I'm just going to saute these onions. I'm going to add a wee bit of garlic to this, which I shall chop right now. Adding a teaspoon of chopped garlic to this, and along with that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt and a small teaspoon, half a teaspoon of sugar. Mix that. And as soon as that's a little transparent, I'm going to take 2 to 3 tablespoons of Zereshk and add that to the mix. I'm going to saute this well and add a little bit of water to let this boil so that it releases its lovely tartiness. And just a little. There has to be a little bit of sugar in this because it is so sour that it is balanced with the right amount of sugar. So I've added a wee bit more. Okay, in this I'm going to add a little more than a pinch of saffron and a wee bit of milk. Bring it to a little boil, maybe a tablespoon or so, and I shall be adding the rice. And here I have about half a cup of dill. I grow it in the garden, soya isko kehte hain Urdu mein, and 1 cup of coriander and half a cup of parsley. All this is fresh. So basically parsley, coriander and soya is what is going to go into this. There's about that much liquid left. I want you to add the parboiled rice, lower the flame and mix it all up. This is how you do it. And while you're mixing this, I want you to add a little bit of garam masala powder, like half a teaspoon max, that's it. And this entire bowl that I showed you earlier. It's already smelling great. Okay, so I had fried onions at home and fried garlic. I've added that, and I've added a blob of butter right at the end. And just before I serve this, I'm going to add some rose petal leaves. They're dried rose petal leaves, and you can get them here. This rice is delicious. You have to make it with or without the Zereshk barberry. It's a great combination of butter and garlic, and I actually really like it, so I suggest you make this real soon. Next up is the brined chicken that I'm just going to show you how to put together to serve with the rice. Chicken is called Jujeh in Farsi, so this is my version of a Jujeh kebab, and it is not the traditional one. It is what I like. I love brining, the Turkish brine, the Greeks brine, the Iranians brine. I would like you to Google the term brine, B-R-I-N-E, and then you'll see the different ways to brine. I've just used vinegar, water, bay leaves, and some herbs along with salt, black peppercorns. I'm going to take this out through the water. Brining chicken like this just makes everything so nice and juicy and tender. Okay, so here's 1 cup of yogurt. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt to this, some paprika, some cumin and coriander powder, and a pinch of turmeric. Exact ingredients are 1 cup yogurt, more than half a teaspoon of salt because this already had salt, half a teaspoon each of cumin powder and coriander powder with half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, a pinch of turmeric and half a teaspoon of garam masala powder. Place the brine chicken into the yogurt and mix it well. Sorry about the noise in the background. There's a lot of work going on at home. Oh, it's smelling so good. And the vinegar has made it nice and sour too. I've added a sprinkle of saffron to this. I'm going to mix it well, and here I have some wooden skewers. I'm using my faithful old tawa to put this on skewers and hand grill it. But if you have a grill outside, that's the best thing to use. Okay, I would have preferred marinating this for at least a few hours, but I don't have time. I've added olive oil or any kind of oil to this pan. I think that's too much. Anyway, so I've put 4 pieces of chicken onto one skewer, and it's going to go just like this. I put 4 skewers at a time, and it was very hot, the tawa. Just going to cover this for a little while. In the meantime, I'm going to serve the rice onto a platter and liquidize the soup and show you what it looks like. Because this chicken is brined, it cooks fast. Just flip the side. I'm just going to do this and let the water dry. This is nearly done. Okay, done a set of 4, and I just wanted to show you I have 1 capsicum, 1 tomato and 1 onion. I'm going to put these into skewers, and I'm going to take this and baste that with the yogurt mixture and grill it. We'll go with the onions and capsicum first, because what happens is that the tomato leaves water and then it doesn't cook at the same temperature on this grill. So we'll go with the onions and capsicum first. Okay, I've added the tomatoes, and this you need to grill as much as you like. Some people like it really charred, I do, and some people don't. So let's put this together and have our lunch already. And the rice is ready, the chicken skewers are ready. I'm just going to place it with the vegetables and show you that this can be such an easy dish that you can prepare at home and make a lot of people very, very happy. It's delicious. I'm just going to garnish this with dried rose petals, and I have some saffron strands. Right at the end, I'm going to add some butter, and this is ready to. I'm going to start off with the cauliflower soup, and I'm just going to show you the ingredients. This is a roasted cauliflower soup, so we need an oven for this. If you don't have an oven, you're going to have to boil the cauliflower, but it won't be a roasted recipe. That's the head of 1 cauliflower, and I've chopped it up into small bits and pieces, and I've also used the stem, and I'm just going to pour over some olive oil, salt, pepper, thyme leaves and sweet paprika seasoning, and this is half a head of garlic. Seasoned with salt and adding this black pepper. Okay, mix this well, toss it really well, make sure it's coated well in this oil. Preheat the oven because this has to go in there. That's the amount of oil you need to put on the garlic, and just season it with a little salt. It's a lot of oil, but it'll turn out good. Let's roast this for 20 to 30 minutes. I'll tell you exactly how much it went in for at 220 degrees centigrade. Got a pot ready on the stove, added some olive oil, turned on the fire, and here are the ingredients. About 1½ spring onion sliced, 1 teaspoon of ginger. There's 1 tomato chopped up, 1 carrot chopped up, 1 potato chopped up, and 1 stalk of celery chopped up. I'm going to add all of these ingredients except the tomatoes into this pot. Stir that. Add some salt, less than half a teaspoon of cumin powder, some thyme leaves. I don't have fresh ones, so I'm using 1 teaspoon dried, and some black pepper. Saute this well. Okay, that's stir fried a little bit. I'm adding about half a cup to 1 cup water to just help the potatoes cook a little. Cover this and cook this on low heat. Okay, that took about 40 minutes. I'm going to take this out of the oven, and I shall put it in this pot straight away. And I want you to see that I've squeezed the garlic out, and this garlic is also going into this soup. I'm just going to fill it up with water. Tell you exactly how much. So 40 minutes in the oven is good for this. I've mixed that up a little bit. I'm adding about 750 ml of water, which is more than enough because this is just one cauliflower head. I'm going to simmer that for about 15 to 20 minutes. And I beg your pardon, I'd forgotten to add the tomatoes earlier while I was sauteing the roasted cauliflower and the vegetables. You have to add this in then, but I've made a mistake. I'm adding it now. Never mind. It's all going to be, it's going to be good at the end of this. I am hand blending the soup. You can leave a few bits and pieces. You don't have to blend it completely. Up to you. At this point, you can add some cream once you taste it for seasoning and all. See if you want to add cream. You can even add a little bit of milk. You can make it into a cream of roasted cauliflower soup or just a chunky cauliflower soup. And the cauliflower soup is also ready. I'm just going to put it in a bowl and show you a picture of this. It's quite nice, guys. You should try out cauliflower soup. I know it's not a common choice, but it's a great choice, and I've enjoyed making it, and I'm going to enjoy eating it.